Yeah, and a lot of highlights too, Blaine. Unfortunately for Arizona State fans, and not a lot of highlights for them, but USC had a lot of touchdowns, so let's watch them, shall we? USC making the trip down to Tempe to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. They won their last 2 games, feeling the momentum. However, first drive of the game, Sam Darnold, this guy's pretty good. A 33-yard dime to Deontay Burnett. Good gracious, that would look good. 7-0 USC Trojans, and gets tackled by a teammate. That's how excited the Trojans were in this game. Still in the first quarter after an ASU field goal, Darnold finds Tyler Vaughns on a simple 5 yards and out, breaks a tackle, and Vaughn, you're clear for takeoff. Flies into the end zone. That puts up 6 more points. Darnold 2 TD passes in the first quarter, and that means it's selfie time. 14-3 Trojans at the end of the first. Ball on the Trojan 33-yard line in the second quarter. Not anymore. Ronald Jones. This guy was running like a man on fire. Nobody can catch him. 67 yards for a touchdown. 21-3 USC. But time is winding down, and Manny Wilkins in this ASU offense, they need something, so they're going to go for the Hail Mary as time is expiring. Chucks it up, saying a prayer, bounces up, and who finds it but Kyle Williams? Not really sure what happened. Let's take another look. There's the ball. Falling down, N'Keal Harry, surrounded by 3 USC Trojans. Ball bounces back up in the air. They don't know where it is, but Kyle Williams has eyesight like a hawk. He finds it. He's going to make a leap, barely staying into the end zone on the goal line. And that's a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. Initially called not a touchdown. They went back into the locker room, and then the refs reviewed it. They said it's a touchdown. 31-10. USC still in the lead at halftime. Those fans are loving it. And starting the second half off right. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Super Manny. 1-yard touchdown leap into the end zone. And now 31-17, it's a closer game, but they didn't do anything after that offensively. And defense, it didn't help the Sun Devils either, as Ronald Jones just ran all over this ASU offense. That one was good for 64 yards, 216 rushing yards on the day, 341 total for that Trojan run game. And USC beats the Sun Devils at home 48-17. USC still sits at the top of the Pac-12 South, the 5-1 conference record. Arizona State, I remember the first play of the game, they sacked Darnold, and it looked pretty good, and everybody was like, oh, here we go, this ASU defense, they're going to put it to this Trojan offense, and then it didn't happen. And I think a big reason why were the penalties. Very uncharacteristic-like game of Arizona State, because they had 10 penalties, and it cost them 99 yards, and coming into this game, only 22 penalties total on the season. What happened in that aspect? Yeah. Normally, Todd Graham emphasizes discipline so much, and he didn't have Kalen Ballage in the game to go with that 79 rushing yards, but offensively, let's get into that a little bit. It didn't look like they were really doing anything. A couple big plays here and there. Obviously, a last-second Hail Mary to end the first half. But other than that, they didn't look great.
Just think about it.
Yeah. Well, Colorado, they were Pac-12 South champions back in 2016. They're 5th in the Pac-12 South right now. So it's a much different team. Arizona State has a better chance than they did against USC. But guys, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to have more about that Colorado game later on the show with our analyst Max Madden. But he's Josiah Desson. He's Julian Potas. Thanks so much for tuning in. And the first thing I think you have to do is stop Philip Lindsay, because that's the main guy coming out of the backfield. Like I already said, 161 yards against Cal last week. And for Arizona State, when they had to go up against Ronald Jones in this USC offense, they gave up 341 yards on the ground. 216 of those came from Jones, and they gave up 607 total yards to Sam Darnold and this USC offense. Unacceptable. If you're Todd Graham and Phil Bennett, you just never want to see that. That's a game like they had against Stanford, and Philip Lindsay, number 3 in the nation when it comes to rushing yards. So you got to stop him, and it doesn't look like the Sun Devil defense can do that right now.
Well, USC.
Hey, thanks so much, Julian. But now Arizona State, they're in the Pac-12 South. So we're going to take a look at the other games that could affect them in the future. The biggest game in the Pac-12 South this week is USC going up against Arizona. It's a top 25 matchup. USC at 17, the Wildcats at 22nd in the nation. Whoever wins this game will be at the top of the Pac-12 South. Arizona QB Khalil Tate is the most dominant player in the conference right now, because he's won the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week honors for the 4th week in a row. Nobody has ever done that in the conference history, and U of A, they've won 4 in a row. They're red hot. However, USC, they're undefeated at home, but Arizona, undefeated on the road. So that's going to be a must-watch this weekend. And the Bruins, they'll be in Salt Lake City, and they're in a solid position because the Utes are on a 4-game losing streak. Although UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen did injure his finger against the Washington Huskies last week, so Utah has a chance to win at home, trying to dig its way out of last in the Pac-12 South. All right, let's detox. We've been a little too uptight as of late, but let's have some fun. It's time for Pick Your Poster. Basically, all we really did was we were at the USC ASU game. We saw some of our favorite posters in the stands, decided to take a picture of it, and we're putting them up here. You guys voted which one was your favorite, and it's time to show you. So, Blaine, let's get into this first one.
Okay.
You know Halloween was this past Tuesday.
Sure.
A lot of costumes, a lot of costume ideas. This one, good couples costume idea. USC and trash. You get it?
I got it.
If you're an Arizona State fan, you think USC is trash. However, they didn't play like it because they smoked the Sun Devils.
Exactly.
For a second time this season, a former Arizona State football player has been signed to the Arizona Cardinals practice squad due to injuries to star players. When Cardinals running back David Johnson hurt his wrist, the organization signed former Patriots running back DJ Foster. After quarterback Carson Palmer suffered a season-ending injury, they snagged Chargers practice squad quarterback Mike Bercovici. Bercovici was an undrafted free agent for the Chargers and spent the 2016 preseason with them until he was waived right before the season started. He stayed on a training program for the next year and would text Chargers starting QB Phillip Rivers to keep his NFL dreams alive. He was given a rare opportunity, and the Chargers re-signed him for the 2017 season, but now is back in Arizona. Right now, there are 2 quarterbacks on the 53-man active roster, 8-year veteran backup Drew Stanton and former 49er Blaine Gabbert. But that doesn't take away the excitement and determination from the Southern California native. I had a brief conversation with Mike on the sidelines of the USC ASU game and asked him what it was like being back in Arizona playing football again. He said, "It feels amazing." And that's why Mike Bercovici is our feel-good story of the week. I was so excited when I saw that for the first time. I love seeing offensive linemen getting credit that they deserve, scoring a touchdown. Oh, man, it was great. We hope you had a good time watching this show. He's Blaine McCormick. I'm Troy Lynch. Thanks again for tuning in to HouseOfSparky.com. Arizona State, Colorado. That's happening later today. Watch that game and watch our show next Saturday, and we'll see you then.